it's really now easier more than ever to really get ahead, right? Many of you may not think so. Of course, we're looking at the economy. Of course, we're looking at, the state of affairs, in the United States and around the world. We're looking at the cost of living continuously rising. We're looking at jobs continuously being eradicated. But I want y'all to think about something. You have a lot of people that are not doing anything, right? For you men out there, there's a lot of men who are not doing anything. They're not making any kind of steps, right? They don't have any kind of drive. They're not making any kind of plans. They're not setting any kind of goals. And I want you to understand this. If you have goals that you're actively trying to achieve, you're winning, right? If you have steps that you're actively, taking, you're winning, right? If you're doing anything that is improving your life, anything that is progressing towards something, you're winning. Because a good portion, I would take it as far as to say a good majority of people are not doing anything, right? They're not taking steps. They're not writing down goals, right? They're not even eating right. Listen, the majority of people in the gym, do y'all not understand that those people represent not even 10% of the population, much less. So for you gym guys, you guys who actually go into the gym, ladies, you too, for those of you who actually go into the gym, don't y'all understand that the people who are in the gym, they represent less than 10% of people, less than 10% of the whole entire population. You may think, oh, there's a Planet Fitness over there, there's a Crunch over there, there's a LA Fitness over there, oh, and it's a LA Fitness down the street. It does not matter, right? You got to account for, first and foremost, the people that go to the gym. So that's less than 10%. Then you got the people who actually, take the gym seriously. That's even less. Then who's in shape? Who's actually eating right? Who's showing up consistently? Who's being serious about everything through and through? Man, you're talking about, you can narrow it down to probably 1 or 2% of people, right? I'll be generous and say 1 to 3% of people who are actively in shape, who really take care of their body, who takes fitness serious, right? Who takes their diet seriously. That represents a small portion of people. Everybody else is just everybody else. They're not actively doing anything. And that goes for every industry. That goes for every single industry that you can think of. So when it comes down to money making, most people in this climate, most people they're not creative. So if you're a creator, and I don't mean just social media, if you're just a creative person in general, guess what? You have ample opportunity, especially if you're taking steps to implement that creativity, right? Because most people, not saying that people aren't creative, but most people are not tapping into their mind because they're so distracted. So we're entering into an economy, a world where, well, we're already there, but it's gonna be severe at this point. You're gonna have the consumers, and you're gonna have, what's the other one? You're gonna have the consumers, and you're gonna have the creators, right? You're gonna have people who are selling things, and you're gonna have people who are buying things. Right now, we all buy things, but it's going to be to such an extreme that you're going to be able to tell the difference, right? The NPCs of the world. Welcome to the afterpill.co, your one-stop shop hub for everything that I offer. Whether you're here to book a one-on-one coaching call, join the Patreon community, explore Horizon Atlas, your relocation app, or access my latest content and resources, you'll find it all right here. Choose your path, take action, and start building the life you want. They're going to buy it. They're going to buy everything. They're going to consume. And this feeds into the whole, world domination, controlling the population. They need to control the population. I'll be honest with you. To some extent, I agree. To some extent, I agree. I agree that I believe people need to be controlled. I'm sorry. I said it. Some people need to be controlled because we can't let NPCs and mindless rats and cockroaches run around here doing anything and run around here with the heads cut off and jumping off buildings and running into stores like NPCs do, right? We can't have that. So we need places like an Amazon facility. We need a plantation like Amazon to go ahead and throw all the NPCs in there, right? They ain't got nothing to do anyway. They ain't doing nothing but sitting at home, playing Call of Duty, right? Watching Netflix, waiting on their grandparents to die so they can inherit the house just to sell it and blow the money on cocaine and hookers, right? They ain't doing nothing. So Amazon has a place, right? And many other places. So I do believe to a certain extent that, yeah, the government needs to control these goddamn NPCs, because if not, yeah, the world is going to be more chaotic than it already is. This is what I had to learn to accept, man. Most people are just not going to amount to anything, right? Most people are not going to amount to a goddamn thing. And, I used to be the one who, I love to give out knowledge and I love to give out wisdom, right? Because I just feel like, well, I mean, just why gatekeep, right? If somebody don't know anything, I don't see the point in hiding it from them. I'm very like open and, communicative, right? Except when it comes to my fragrances, like Ninja, you can't get that up off me, right? That's top secret details, right? You can't walk around smelling like me. You go find out by yourself. Go do your research and studying and all of that. You can't get my cologne off of me. But besides that, I don't do any gatekeeping, right? But here's what I had to learn, man. And this is coming from experience. People will pay you. People will pay you hundreds of dollars to get insight, real knowledge, real guidance, mentorship. They'll pay you hundreds of dollars and they still won't do a goddamn thing. They still won't do a thing. They still won't take the steps. And, I used to think, well, damn, let me just go up in price. And definitely to a certain extent, the higher you raise the price, it does weed out, your NPCs, knuckle draggers, and, oxygen thieves, right? It does weed them out. However, I noticed that even when people pay hundreds of dollars, not too many people still take those steps. Not too many people take that knowledge and run with it and implement it into their daily lives. You still have people who will pay. And I've even heard of, I'm gonna find a video, right? If I find a video, I'm gonna post it at the beginning of this video. So there was a lady who said that there were people paying thousands of dollars, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars, and only 50% or so will actually start, right? They will pay for the knowledge or the steps or something like that, courses or what have you, and only 50% of those people will start. And I think even lower than that would actually complete it, right? And I watched that video, I was like, damn, that resonates, with, what I'm going through. And I'm not even charging tens of thousands of dollars yet. I will, but not yet. So it's just like, damn, you can have people, and then it can be people with money, right? But for the majority of people, man, they'll pay for things, pay for courses, pay for wisdom, and they'll still not get started. The same thing what I said with the gym, right? You'll have people who pay for memberships. They'll show up for 30 days, 60 days, maybe 90 days. And then they'll just drop like flies. They'll go back to their old habits. They'll go back to eating, KFC chicken, right? They'll go back to, being a sloppa-loppa dinosaur, right? They'll go back to their old ways. And I bring up all of that to say that if you can stay consistent, man. See, y'all asked me, listen, y'all ask me for the solution? Y'all keep saying, oh, Tap, you always talking about the doom and gloom, Tap. Man, what we supposed to do? Okay. And now I'm making a full-fledged video, because even though I do give you the solution within the videos, right? Read between the lines, Ninja. But here's the solution, right? If you can stay consistent, if you can stay balanced, and when I say balanced, I mean you can go and understand your body, understand your mental, understand what's going on with yourself, and then go into high drive, then take it back to low drive, go back into high drive, take it back into low drive, right? If you can understand how to pace yourself and still take the steps, right? Continuously moving, all you have to do is stay in motion, right? You're going to beat the competition, because in reality, there is no competition. I'm telling y'all right now, there is no competition, right? You would think, man, when I go out, when I go around Santo Domingo, right? If I'm just out chilling, maybe drinking a beer or two or whatever, the majority of the men that I meet who are American are usually twice my age, right? They're usually 20 years on average older than me. These guys are usually 50 plus years old. I have rarely ran into a young man, let alone young black man. You may see it on social media, but y'all got to realize the people who are doing it on social media literally are only the top 10, top 5% of people. They're not the majority. So when y'all see the guys on YouTube traveling and all that, bro, it is not the majority. Your algorithm is just fixed to, it's just algorithmically fixed to see those people. But in reality, it's not many. So when I go out and about, and, I'm linking with Americans, or just we run across each other, right? They're twice my age. These guys are retired Army vets, retired from corporate America, real estate, or whatever the case is. They got their bag already. I'm really running into younger guys, which means that there aren't that many younger guys, doing what I'm doing. Not because it's impossible, but because there is no competition. They aren't and have not taken the steps that I have taken. Right? I've had an entrepreneurship mind and a business mind and a solo dolo mind since, man, I would say 19, 18, 19, probably before that. Man, I'm gonna tell you this story. Even before I graduated high school, I always had an entrepreneurship mind, right? I was selling candy at school, right? I was so business minded. I was in control of the smoothie machine for I was a part of this group or organization called HOSA, Health and Occupational Students of America, right? And we would do fundraisers. I was in control. I was the leader. I was in control of the smoothie machines, right? During my lunch period. So I would collect all the money. I think it was $1 a cup. So I would collect all the money. We were raising all the money and all of that stuff, right? I was in control of that because I like that business aspect. It turned me up. Like, I was the leader of the smoothie. Yeah, what you want? You want two? Ninja? You want two? All right, $2, ninja, right? Trapping in the dang on cafeteria. Nah, but I always had the business mindset. 17, I was already signing up for the military. I was gone by 18. I wanted to be out the house. I wanted to be done. I was out of there. Bought my first car by myself, right? Cash money. I bought my first car cash, right? Nobody wasn't doing that. Yeah, you got some who are doing it, but nobody was doing that. And like I said, I bring all this up to say that if you can just, even if you're making baby steps, bro, you are ahead of the rest. There is no competition. Now, let alone make big steps. Now, if you big stepping, right, there is no competition, right? Some of you may think, damn, I'm moving slow, or dang, I still don't have enough the money that I want to have. Dang, I'm still not where I'm at, bro. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. Look back at your peers. look and see what your peers are doing, right? Just look back, peek behind the curtain, text somebody, right? Just think about what your peers are doing. I promise you, you're in a 10x better spot than you were a few years ago, and a better 10x spot than your peers. I promise you. You may not understand it, or you may not see it, because when we're in the position, we worried about what's in front of us. right? We're not really seeing everything that we've actually accomplished, because when we're paying attention, we're looking at the top 10%. See, when I compare myself, I'm looking at big dogs. I'm like, dang, he making 100 what a month? 100,000 a month? He making $1 million a month? How the fuck is they doing that, right? When I'm seeing dudes drive around Lamborghinis and I'm comparing myself to the top percentage, I'm not comparing myself to losers. I'm not comparing myself to a homeless man. He homeless. The fuck I'm about to compare myself to him? Of course I'm doing better than him, ninja. Right? I'm comparing myself to the top of the top. I'm comparing myself to first class flights. I'm not comparing myself to niggas in coach. That's who I'm comparing myself to. But all in all, if you're taking the steps to progress, if you're doing what it takes, right? You got your goals, you have your aspirations, and you're actively taking those steps, you are ahead of the majority of people. And then if you actually accomplish those steps, accomplish those goals, you're blowing most people out the water. And I'm saying this as somebody who's actively doing it. So listen, man, that was an after pill. The after pill is the ideology. The escape blueprint is the framework. And PFP life is how you should live, in purpose, in freedom, and in power. Listen, if you want one-on-one coaching calls, you want more wisdom like this, if you want some guidance, or if you're thinking about relocating to anywhere in the world, you may want to come to Dominican Republic, you may want to go to Colombia, you may want to go to France, you may want to go to Spain. Listen, hit the link in the description. You can book a coaching call with me, or you can check out horizonatlas.ai. It is your relocation app. If you want to know more information about visas, residencies, if a country is safe, if that is the country for you or your kids and family, if you have some, visit horizonatlas.ai. You can view all of this in the link down in the description. And everything that you need will be on my website, theafterpill.co. You can see everything. So I'll see you guys over there. You can also check out the Patreon as well if you want access to hundreds of videos, mindset videos, behind the scene videos, older videos that are no longer on YouTube. Check out the Patreon, also in the link down in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Welcome to the afterpill.co. Your one-stop shop hub for everything that I offer. Whether you're here to book a one-on-one coaching call, join the Patreon community, explore Horizon Atlas, your relocation app, or access my latest content and resources, you'll find it all right here. Choose your path, take action, and start building the life you want.